Hey everyone, have I here, Bruno video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the best LRs of 2023 on Global. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So this is going to be, in a sense, a three-part series, I guess. We're going to be starting with the best LRs of 2023 on Global, then the best TURs of 2023 on Global, and then finally end with best teams, in a sense the December edition or the 2023 edition. And that should do it for really what I need to go over when it comes to the year-end stuff. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully you guys will enjoy all three of them. So let's go ahead and start with the best LRs. When I consider best LRs, what I'm actually going to go through is all the LRs that were introduced in 2023, and again, it's going to be really focused on the summonable units, so we're not going to be talking too much about the free-to-play units that were unveiled in this year here. And of course, we're talking about the best of 2023, so like LROP and even LRGG, those older units that would be still in like the top list of LRs. Those aren't going to count when I rank these particular units here. So how, of course, I do my rankings, just a little unusual, just a little different here. I'm going to talk about the must-have LRs of 2023, the great-to-have LRs, the good, the helpful, and then just the sad ones that really shouldn't have even been released, or they could have done something totally different with them to make them more viable. But anyways, we kind of already know what those LRs are going to be for 2023. But let's go ahead and start with the first one that was introduced back in January 15, 2023, 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. And this was a unit that a lot of people were just waiting on because it was delayed. It's seemingly like 2 or 3 months, right? And that's going to be LR AGL Golden Frieza. And I put the Golden Frieza as a great to have unit because it's a yellow coin LR and the leader skill really isn't all that valuable here. But for an extreme class unit, this is one of the better ones that we actually have in the game. It's very rare to even have good extreme class units, so of course I put them right here in the great to have section. Is the Golden Frieza, the AGL version, the yellow coin version of it. So let's go ahead and move on then to the next unit that was introduced a month later, exactly a month later, and that was February 15, 2023, 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, and this was the Carnival unit, Carnival LR Goku, or just really Super Saiyan Goku in of itself. And with him, I actually put him as a good to helpful unit, even though he's a Carnival LR. He isn't really like great to have. He's like not one of the super top tier units. His leader skill is actually pretty good. It's an underrated leader skill in Battle of Wits, but when it comes to this current meta here, he really isn't as strong, I would say, as some of these other ones we're going to be talking about. But I almost had him at great to have, but I think as of this spot here, good to helpful is really the unit here, and he's a very helpful support unit if you're going to be running him on a particular team, because he does provide the defensive buff to the superclass units. And I think in of itself, if you build him up strong enough, he can tank some characters, endgame characters. So that's why we have LR Goku in the good to helpful slot there. Let's go ahead and now talk about the one that one was very anticipated when it comes to Global, because when it came on JP, it was just a busted unit, period. And as you can see, it was a very long drought from the introduction of LR Goku to the yellow coin beast of a unit, and that's going to be LR STR Bulma. And we already know where she falls in the pantheon of rankings here. Of course, I have her as a must-have unit, even though she's a yellow coin unit. Really, her viability on the top tier teams, any team that she can be on, she's going to be best in slot, especially as a support unit. Her support mechanic hopefully we'll get extreme class unit that will do the exact same thing as Bulma, and her ability to do support if you get enough orbs, but then on top of that is for 2 turns as well. So we know how strong Bulma is, and I think she's a very valuable unit overall. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a great leader skill, and her viability on a lot of teams isn't all that much. So or she's not on that many categories. She is viable on pretty much any team. So that's why I have her at must to have. That's a no surprise there, of course. Let's go ahead and now move on to then after May, we did wait until June for the introduction of a unit that I think none of us really cared for. When it initially came out, the AGL Super Buu ended up actually being a unit that didn't even have a 200% leader skill, which was kind of wild. So, yeah, the AGL Super Buu ended up being a good to helpful unit. I didn't put him as a sad unit just because he is actually pretty good on the teams that he's on, but he is a yellow coin LR, so the leader skill is really not there comparable like the LR Goku. It's a mass difference, but he's still a good to helpful unit, even though LR Goku is a Carnival unit versus a yellow coin. I don't have him as a sad unit. I don't think he falls into that spot. When you see the sad units, you'll definitely know why I put those units in those spots there. So that's where I ended up ranking for, and this is not in order yet. I will rank them and then order them at the end here. So let's go ahead and then move on then to the 8-year anniversary, which I think is one of the top tier anniversaries that we have, because it did introduce really two incredibly strong units. Primarily the Spirit Bomb GT unit, which I still think is the best unit in the game overall, right? As I would say the best leader skill with the passive, with enough team categories, like everything. Is just a very, very, very overall good unit. I think the Spirit Bomb Z unit is still a good unit as well, just not as top tier as the GT unit. So both of these, of course, I think are very, very powerful units. So I went ahead and moved them into these spots here. The Spirit Bomb Z is going to be great to have, not really a must-have unit, because Power of Wishes being the category that both of them share, I still think the Spirit Bomb GT unit is going to be more valuable, and again, overall a better unit. So that's where I have the 8-year anniversary units here as a must-have and a great to have. I think the GT unit is absolutely must-have when it comes to the best units, especially LRs in the game here. Let's go ahead and now move on to then part 2 of the 8-year anniversary, and that's going to be the Kai Goku and then the Z Gohan. So these two units again is also separated, but I think I put them in the right spot here, where the Z Gohan is a good helpful unit. I think his leader skill is incredibly good with Bonamaster Disciple, but him in itself, he's still, I think, a solid unit. It's just not as good as the Kai Goku. The Kai Goku is a great to have unit on here. I could even, talk about, kind of where he might even fall with must to have, especially if you're going to be running a lot of Gokus. Of course, he is a Turtle School leader. His 200% leader skill is actually very good. And I think just overall, I just think he's still on that great to have spot. Must have is just at the elite level, so you can kind of see what all the other units are going to be there. So I have him at great to have here. Very, very good unit. Not talked about as much. I would say that he deserves a lot more clout with Kai Goku. He's just a super, super solid unit. That anytime you run on a team, he's gonna do its job, right? So I think I have both of these in the right spots here, in a good to helpful for the Z Gohan, and then the Kai Goku is great to have here. Let's go ahead now move on to then after the 8-year anniversary. We have a little bit of time, and then boom, we have the worldwide celebration. So with global, you just know. You have that long drought from February to May, but then from July is just like, top tier units one after the other, especially LRs. So the introduction of part 1 to the worldwide celebration, of course, leads into the Corrupted Zamasu and then Vegeta Blue, and of course both of them are must-have units. I would say the Vegeta, I would say, slightly edges out just because of the leader skill is so ridiculously good with that 150% to all super class. Even though it's much lower, it just opens up, like, you can run pretty much anyone on the team. Whereas I think also the Murzumasu here is a must-have because he's in a sense, the best extreme class unit in the game. You know, a lot of people might even say World Tournaments Piccolo Jr., right? So, but I think overall, right, the leader skill, everything in terms of that unit, the Murzumasu is a must-have, being it's the best extreme class unit in the game. So I think both of them are must-have units. They're incredibly, incredibly good, well-rounded. Leader skills are incredible, just super, super solid. I think the only issue, of course, with Vegeta Blue is the Blue Goku and Vegeta in of itself. If you don't transform in that, immediate moment, you are susceptible. Whereas I think with Murzumasu, you are just going to be doing fine anytime. So that's where I have the part 1 Worldwide Celebration. Then you have the part 2 Worldwide Celebration, where I'd say people were pretty disappointed in Trunks initially, but you can see now that Trunks is a very, very good unit. So in September 14th, basically part 2 of the Worldwide Celebration, you had these 2 Carnival units dropped, and it was disappointing that we didn't get another extreme class unit. Would have been nice to see that, but we got this future Gohan, and this future Gohan is an absolute must-have unit. I did put the Trunks down at great to have. I think his leader skill is a little bit redundant for Future Saga, and then you have Time Travelers for the Trunks, right? So the Gohan Future Saga, that is a super top tier unit. I would say one of the best units in the game easily. Whereas Trunks, I think if he had a different leader skill, I can even put him up to must have. But with Time Travelers, it just is redundant, and you're really going to be mostly running like the Future Saga team anyway. I think Trunks is a very, very good unit. He's one of these units that you do have to build up, which is fine. And once he's built up, he's going to be very, very good. So that's why I have those 2, the part 2 Worldwide Celebration units on there. Now let's go ahead and move on to October 19, 2023. Take a deep breath here and talk about the Spirit Bomb based Goku. Why? Really, I think that was the question for everybody, was, do we even need this unit, right? We have the Z Goku, or the Kai Goku here, which is incredibly good. And then you have this unit that ended up being down here in the sad arena. It's not even valuable, right? They could have done it with with parentheses Spirit Bomb. If they had, even this unit had a opportunity to link up with another base form Goku, I think it would have added some value. But in and of itself, there's so many better base form Gokus, like World Tournament, 21 Goku, and then the before mentioned Kai Goku, that this Goku here is an afterthought. No one cares about this unit. You cannot have this unit and that won't even miss it. You'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there is a base form Goku from the Turtle Celebration that no one really cared about. So there you have it there. He's on the sad spot, and I think everyone would agree on that spot there as well. Then moving on to November 2nd, 2023, which was the introduction to the LR Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think this unit is divisive in a sense. I think he's okay. I don't think he's top tier. But I think some other people think he's a very, very top tier unit. So I actually have him as a great to have unit, just because in a sense, the leader skill, we did need another, GT Hero leader skill. But if he had something else along, like grade 8 power, if he had grade 8 power as a leader skill, then he can run, with the Limit Breaker, Vegito and the Super Dragon Ball Hero units, and would have made it even a lot stronger. But the leader skill in itself for his team is still good, but it could be very, very, very good. But I just have him as great to have. He's kind of, I would say, the lower end of the great to have. I could even move them to good and helpful. I'm not hugely high on the full power Goku, so that's why I still have them as great to have, but kind of in the lower tier. You'll see when I actually rank them up. And then finally, on December 13th, which was not that long ago, we have the introduction to a unit that we weren't expecting in a double rates banner, and we have the LR Super Saiyan Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. So the Carnival Super Saiyans here was an incredible introduction. So I'd say this is a great to have, but in the top tier. I don't think he's a must-have unit, just because the leader skill of itself, Super Saiyans, is a little bit limited, and the unit is very, very good, but comparable to those top 5 I have up there, I think he's slightly below, but he's not like where I would put him. He's in the upper echelon of great to have versus kind of the lower echelon of great to have. You'll see when I kind of rank these up here on here. So those are the units that were introduced in 2023. There is a possibility that we might get one more unit, and that would be the Omega Shenron. He's a sad unit, so whether he's in 2023 or 2024, you would just put him down in that spot there. So he might make a quick introduction in like the 28th of the month or something like that, toward right at the end. But ultimately, he is a disappointment either way. So if I were now to rank these, right, kind of put it all together, because these were kind of where I put them as when it comes to the introductions of these when they actually were released. So here's how I would really rank these units here. And I have, in my opinion, again, the Spirit Bomb GT unit is the most valuable and best unit on global overall. Then I have the Gohan. The future Gohan is an incredible unit. Then I have Bulma third. A lot of people have Bulma's like the first or second best unit in the game. I can't give her that. I did a whole video discussing that this game is still reliant on teams, and if you can't lead a team that's relevant, then yeah, you don't deserve. I still have her at 3 because her passive skill is so ridiculous. So I still give her props for who she is and what she can do, but she's not number 1 in my book. I can even move her like even further down if I really wanted to, because again, the value of leader skills is very valuable in Dokkan. So that's why you have like Vegeta Blue and then the Murzumasu. Those two have incredible leader skills, but I think with their passives, right, it's still a step lower than the other 3 that you have here. So this is kind of how I rank my top 5 2023 units here. I think this is the right positions, right spots. And then the great to haves, you can see kind of where the difference is. I do have the LR Super Saiyans, the Carnival Super Saiyans, as basically on the edge of must have to great to have here. Then have the Spirit Bomb GT and the Worldwide Celebration Trunks. I think they're kind of neck and neck. They're very similar units. I just think the leader skill for the Spirit Bomb Z unit is better with Power of Wishes as its main one. So then I have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. I can kind of flip these even around. I think both of these units, I think this is a more consistent unit, but I think this one has the better leader skill. I don't know, it's tough to say the two, but they're pretty close. And then of course I have the Golden Frieza then at the tail end of the great to have to good to helpful on there, just because again the leader skill is just not quite there. But it's a top tier extreme class unit, and extreme class units are very, very rare, right? And then you have good to helpful, then you have the LR Goku, then you have the Z Gohan, and then the Super Buu to round out that spots there. And then of course the saddest 2 units there are going to be the base Spirit Bomb Goku and then the Omega Shenron, which hasn't been released yet, but I just kind of put him on there just in case if he does release. So that's kind of my rankings. If you were to rank them from 1 to how many was released here? We have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 LRs released. Could be 16 if Omega gets released on there. And that's pretty good overall. I think this was a well-rounded, you can see here, a well-rounded year. We had a few duds, but I think overall, pretty solid LRs that were introduced that kept the meta going. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video here. Check out the TUR video next, and then of course the last video for 2023 when it comes to the best of will be best teams. So go ahead and look out for that. So hopefully you guys again enjoyed this video here. This is my ranking for the best LRs on global, and let me know how you guys ranked them. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning, and we will catch you next time. Later.